Hey guys, and welcome back to another League of Legends video. Today I'll be bringing you a Sett jungle guide for the end of Season 10. Sett recently got changed a few patches ago, where his passive and his Q got changed, where now every auto attack deals 50% bonus AD instead of 15. This is a huge buff, especially with his Q and Halo Blades. Every Hob cycle guarantees you deal 100% increased bonus AD per right punch per Hob cycle. This change heavily influences Sett jungle the most, since in Season 10, jugglers have the most pressure after mid laners. Even though Sett is good in the top lane, I think these changes will actually be overpowered more so in the jungle, and I'll tell you why. I'll be going over runes, skill maxing, items, pathing, ganking combos, and late game group objectives. So starting off with runes, I run Hell Blades, Cheap Shot, Eyeball Collection, Relentless Hunter, Celerity, and Nimbus Cloak. I always run Hell Blades as, you know, my general keystone. I run it everywhere, and you should too. Cheap Shot is pretty much the standard build with every other guide that I've made, but the real true builds, true runes that are extremely important is Relentless Hunter and Celerity. The Bounty Hunter stacking on Relentless Hunter stacks multiplicatively. So with 5 Bounty Hunter stacks on top of Celerity, those Bounty Hunter stacks that already grant you movement speed will grant you 7% additional movement speed from Celerity. So you have 2 runes that basically are working hand in hand together, which are basically giving you like 50 plus movement speed, which is kind of crazy. And I also run Eyeball Collection for the scaling attack damage for every kill participation. And lastly, I run Nimbus Cloak for engages and picks that stack on top of Celerity and Relentless Hunter in and out of combat. For skill maxing, I max Q first, since his Q got changed. Like I stated previously, not only deals 15% increased damage, but 50 bonus AD for every second auto attack. So when you're maxing Q now, every second auto attack in a single Hob cycle will deal increased damage per auto attack. So on your normal auto attack with your second right punch, and then the second right punch from your Q will deal more damage than the normal auto attack from your right punch, which is the first auto attack. So now, instead of maxing W, which basically got nerfed to the ground, is pretty much the go-to in the jungle. So always max Q first, max W second, max E last. For items, I run Skirmisher, Warrior, Enchantment. Guys, stop running Cinderhulk with Sett. If you run Hella Blades, you have to run Warrior Enchantment. Warrior gives Sett more kill pressure, especially with Hob combos, since, like I said, his passive and Q scales with bonus attack damage. So building offensively pays out more in the end, since Sett doesn't deal percentage health like he used to. Second, I build defensive boots of choice. Whoever is fed on the enemy team, build accordingly. Third, I get Titanic Hydra. I rush the Tiamat first, and then I build the rest of Titanic Hydra. And then fourth is the sacred item that makes this build work altogether, is the Phantom Dancer. So I've been running Critical Strike Sett with Hell Blades, and with Titanic Hydra, it's a fucking killer, man. Like, the Zeal, the Critical Strike, and the movement speed that you get from that item stacks with the runes, and it stacks with the Titanic Hydra procs. So you're basically critically striking per Titanic Hydra proc, with and without the item activation. So if you guys, you have to try it. This build is hard to like explain. Like, this build will annihilate everyone. It will annihilate every single duelist, bruiser that goes in the top lane. I can't express how powerful Phantom Dancer is with Titanic Hydra. Also, the primary reason why you build this 4th is because the passive of Lifeline basically charges with Haymaker's shield. So you're getting 2 shields every time you charge Haymaker. So when you go below a certain amount of HP, you're basically getting 2 shields. And this build is better than Steric's Gauge because Phantom Dancer is a budget Steric's Gauge, which is, you know, crazy. Like 2600 gold versus 3200 gold, it's unmatched what Phantom Dancer does with this build on Sett. Alright, and 5th, I run Death's Dance. So when you're starting to build Critical Strike on Sett, the lifesteal applies on top of your critical strikes with the Titanic Hydra procs. So every time you critical strike and you're low HP, the lifesteal will heal you for more because lifesteal can critically strike. So gaining a huge amount of sustain and survivability on top of the Death's Dance dot damage reduction is an extra layer of defense. So Phantom Dancer and Death's Dance together is pretty much the survivability that you get on Sett. And lastly, to finish off the itemization, I get Infinity Edge to round out Sett's critical chance to 50%. So this build basically finishes everything, and Infinity Edge just makes Death's Dance healing just stronger. It makes your Titanic Hydra procs way stronger, and the stacking on top of the Phantom Dancer will guarantee that pretty much, you know, 1 out of 2 times your auto attacks is guaranteed to strike. So that's pretty much the itemization. And moving on to your pathing, I always have been starting blue buff on every side of the map where you spawn. Either on blue side or red side, always start with a blue buff, start with the full clear, and then move to your red buff and basically prolong the duration. When you look for like a counter jungling, you know, like if you're invading, if the enemy jungler starts on the opposite side of the map, you're going to have your red buff, so you're going to have an advantage over the Scuttle. Or you can look for a First Blood, since Hallowblades got buffed with the passive, and Q buffs, you know, with the bonus attack damage scaling. And moving on to your ganking combos, I pretty much just run with, you know, the guides that I've made. My previous guides, I always run with Heavy Hands into a Hydra reset, into a half Hydra, into a Titanic Cleave. So every time you get your items, you just want to run, you know, you just want to gank with your combos. So these combos will always guarantee a kill no matter what, as long as you don't whiff it. So if you guys watch my combo videos, you'll know what I'm talking about. And lastly is the late game. Sett's late game, also his mid game, is extremely powerful as you start to scale. Sett scales way better in my opinion than he did previously before his passive and Q got changed. So for late game group objectives, Sett is extremely well at fighting for objectives when behind. He's extremely good at stealing Barons, stealing Dragons, because you just basically launch the enemy jungler into the team for like a 5v5 scenario, and while they're in the Baron or Dragon Pit, you always want to look for a Smite steal when you're launching the enemy jungler with your Showstopper. So you can also, if you haven't known, Sett can use Smite while you're in your ultimate animation. So that's a good tip to know for late game stealing objectives. And also that Sett can also solo objectives early. So when it comes to objectives, you should always look to contest, even if it means dying for it. Because, you know, it's always worth trying at the end of the day, no matter how bad, you know, a dragon is. Like, especially if it's, you know, your 4th, an Elder Drake, or a Baron steal. So you always want to get those objectives as much as possible. And yeah, this has been pretty much my Sett guide for the jungle for the end of Season 10. And I'll be making more guides in the future. And yeah, hopefully you guys, you know, bring this into your own matches. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. And yeah, stay tuned for my future videos. Alright guys, peace.